problem you need to solve from that. If you think you have what you're supposed to do, raise your hand. I want to see if it's right. Mm-hmm. Who else? Okay. That looks right. Uh-huh. Okay. So there's about maybe a quarter of you in here that got that correct setup. Now careful there. Careful on that. Okay, for everyone else who might be hung up on this a little bit, look, in word problems, I always think it's a good idea, if you're having trouble, to replace the numbers that are complicated with numbers that make a little more sense to you. Yes? Okay, hold tight. So let's just change this up. In a language arts class, they were assigned to write team papers, right? Each team was to write, let's just say 5 pages instead of 5.5. It makes it a little easier. 5 pages. Each team, right? When all the teams put their papers together, let's say instead of 44, let's say that there were 50 pages total. How many teams were there? 10? Is that more obvious to you by doing it that way? Look, each team wrote 5 pages. There was a total of 50 pages. That means there were 10 teams. How did you do that in your head? What computation did you have to do to make that work? 50 divided by 5, right? So now instead of using 5 pages, use 5.5, and instead of 50, do 44. But you're still going to do the same computation. You're still going to take 44 and you're going to divide it by 5.5. Understand? That's my recommendation when you have word problems that you can't interpret correctly. First, make the numbers nicer to work with. Then, if it makes sense, understand what math you did, and then just do it for your more complicated numbers. Okay, does anyone have a question on the setup? Sure? Good? Yeah?
Was the candy one the same as the one we just did, or is it different?
This candy one?
Yeah.
We didn't work through it, right? We didn't work through it? Or we did?
We did.
We did? I don't understand your question.
Oh, the candy question, the first one?
Uh-huh.
Did we do that the same way we just did that one? The one we just did?
You could. You could. I mean, you can. That's what I'm saying. For any problem you ever have, no matter what it is, word problems, I always say if you're hung up, make all the numbers nicer so that they make more sense to you. And then just go switch them back later. Yes?
Can you probably work on the first one? Because I didn't really understand it too much.
Okay.
Can you work on it? Just like explain to me how you got the 188.
Okay, so we do 2 times 4, right? 8, and then 9. So we get 9/4 plus 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 3, so 23 over 4. And then when we put those two together, I apologize, I should have finished this up. I don't know why I didn't do it. And then we add that 32 over 4, because you add up the top 9 plus 23, and then over the same denominator, and that's 8.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so for this one, 44 divided by 5.5, I'm going to have to turn everything into fractions first. So I'm going to actually rewrite 44 as 44 over 1 divided by, what's this fraction? 11 over 2. And then we need a common denominator or no? No, this is division, right? So this is the easy thing. You just flip it. So flip and turn to multiplication. Times 2 over 11. And that becomes 88 over 11, or you could have simplified first, but 88 over 11, which is 8. Hey, same answer. 8 pounds? It's coincidence. So there were 8 teams. Some of these problems, I'm telling you. All right, how do y'all feel about that? Okay, I'm going to let you do the homework problems associated with this and see how you handle it. I want to talk, well, we only have 10 minutes? Wow. Okay, well, I'll finish up with this. I want to talk about order of operations briefly, and then we'll continue it next class. Order of operations. So we're starting a new topic. As good as the math that we use in our world is, there are some things that we all have to agree upon, or else we're going to get different answers for different problems. Or for the same problem, we might get different answers. So we all had to agree upon a certain order in which we'll do things. It wasn't written down by some, I don't know, supreme being that this is the way it has to be. We just all agreed this is the way we were going to do it. And this is the order that we use. Anyone remember what it is? PEMDAS. I'll write it vertically. Do we have any people who are like English people, like the subject English? Yeah? Is this an acronym? I've been asking for a while. I'm trying to think of an acronym. SWAT, for SWAT team? SWAT? I think SWAT is an acronym because I don't know what SWAT stands for. Anyone know what SWAT stands for?
Specialized Weapons and Tactics.
Okay, good. See, you helped me learn something today. Specialized Weapons and Tactics. But we call it an acronym because SWAT is actually a word, right? You SWAT something. So that stands for, but it's a word. NASA, right, is not a word. But so is that an acronym? I don't know. I don't know this. I'm curious. PEMDAS is, I don't think it's called an acronym because it's not a word. It's kind of like NASA. It's not a word. Okay, who cares? What does it stand for? Okay, parentheses goes first, then exponents. So parentheses, and then exponents, and then multiplication, division, add, subtract, right? Let's show of hands real quick. How many of you knew that already? Mostly everyone, right? Did anyone learn it with like a cute little saying? That means yes? No, you didn't? You did? Was it the same one I learned? Let's see. What is it? Dear Aunt Sally? Yeah, me too. That's the one I learned too. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I don't know why they did that, but that's what I learned. Okay, well, that's the order we're supposed to do things in. So like if I have this, 3 minus 2 minus 5, I'm supposed to do what's in parentheses first, right? So 3 minus 2 would be 1, then minus 5, and what's 1 minus 5? Negative 4. That's the idea. You go through these, right, and you just do them in the right order. So I have a question for you. I have another one for you to work on. This is what we're going to end with. What's 12 divided by 3 times 4? So think about what the answer is. You don't need to write it down, but I want everyone in here to have an answer in their head. Everybody have it? Yes? Now I'm going to ask you to vote. And I'm not calling anyone out. I just really want to know where we are here. Or I'll let someone volunteer their answer. Yes, go ahead. 16. Any others? One? Any others? Good. Those are the only two you should get. Okay, so let's take a vote. 16s. Come on, it's got to be more 16s, no? Just, okay. Ones. Okay, look around. Ones. Okay, down ones. 16s. Okay, let's talk about the ones first. How did you get it? Multiply first, right? Which would mean 12. So this would be 12 divided by 12, right? And 12 divided by 12 would be 1. That's incorrect. What? So that should piss you off because it pissed me off. Huh? Almost, okay? And that's why I like to talk about this. Because almost everyone, where were my 16s again? That's the only people that had it right, okay? That means everyone else understands this incorrectly. All right? That's a big problem if that's what our education system is producing, right? A majority, strong majority, doesn't know order of operations correctly. So it's the way it's being taught. It's being taught with this stupid acronym-ish thing, but it's not stressed. For those of you who got 16, tell me about it. What is this?
On multiply and divide, whichever one comes first.
That's right, as they appear from left to right the way you read a book. These have these are equal, okay? Multiplication, division are totally equal operations. It's not multiply before divide. It is whichever one comes first as you read the problem from left to right like a book. So if you have your calculator right now, if you do, I want you to just type in 12 divided by 3 times 4, all in one line, and hit enter and see what it tells you. It better say 16. Right? And that's because your calculator knows the correct order of operations. And it turns out that addition and subtraction are also equally grouped. You do addition or subtraction, whichever appears first from left to right. So both of these, left to right. So I think that there is a big chunk of people in here that can actually say they learned something today. Or if you want, you can say you unlearned something today. Hopefully you'll unlearn that. I was in college because it's kind of a shame, but I was in college when I learned this the right way. I was in college. Now, I don't think, when I reflect upon it, I don't think it was my teacher. I think I just wasn't paying attention. Okay, or I think my teacher should have been a little bit more emphatic about that order of operations and made sure that I didn't just read it like this. All right, what's your homework tonight? Yeah, so what it's going to be off pages 7 and page 8. In the library? It probably is, but it's online. In Canvas, just click on packet and you don't have to print it out right now. All right, everyone understand that? When I see you again on Thursday, you should have attempted a majority of the problems on page 7 and 8. I should be able to walk to you and say, let me see it, and I should be able to see it. Awesome. Y'all have a great day.
Is this,
Yes, that's fine. But you might need some help on